What's up, Bulls Nation? My name is Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, I know this is not necessarily the concept of the video that I'm going to talk about right now, but we are less than a week away from Chicago Bulls action. Bulls games are finally coming back. Granted, it's preseason, but any game is better than no game, and you're going to see some of the best Chicago Bulls players in action very, very soon, and I cannot wait for it. Now, back onto the video's topic. Today, we're going to be discussing a quote that Zach LaVine has come out with in relation to off-season trade rumors and stuff of that nature. And it's a quote that I absolutely love when I get to see it. I've seen it about 3 times right now. And again, it just brings great joy to my face, and I'm going to discuss that in this video. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about Zach LaVine and the comments that he has made, as well as how excited are you for the Chicago Bulls upcoming season. I'm feeling a little bit more energetic today, but let's talk about Zach LaVine and the quote that he suggested. This is in relation to the off-season trade rumors. Now, if you are unaware, Zach LaVine has been listed in every trade under every team under the sun at this point. Again, I've done it in previous videos, but I'll be happy to mention the teams that has been brought to the table here. Teams like the Los Angeles Lakers, teams like the Dallas Mavericks, teams like the Philadelphia 76ers, teams like the Portland Trail Blazers. All these teams that have come into fruition, and there are definitely more than the New York Knicks. I always forget about the Knicks, but the New York Knicks were one of them as well. So many teams that Zach LaVine has been listed in trade rumors under, yet he's still here as a Chicago Bull. And here's his quotes on the off-season trade rumors. I committed to the Bulls when I signed here, and I'll be committed to the Bulls until I leave. That's not my decision. I made my decision to be here. That is the quote, ladies and gentlemen. It's a small quote, but in my opinion, it holds so much power that, again, it puts a smile on my face because of it. Because we sometimes forget that Zach LaVine chose to be here. You know, you could question whether or not the Bulls want to keep him or not. You can question whether or not, I guess, he will remain for the majority of his contract, if not all of his contract. You can question all these things. But one thing Bulls fans should not forget, and I encourage you all, please, do not forget this. Zach LaVine chose to be here. Now, granted, money is always involved in that conversation as well. He did talk about being respected financially once he was a free agent and stuff like that. But he barely met with any other team before he committed his future here, because the Bulls were able to respect him financially, and that didn't give him a second thought. He didn't go and meet with any other team. He didn't go and open any suggestions with everybody else. To me, that is always a good sign. And recently, we have seen so many people talk so highly about the Bulls organization. You talked about Drew Holiday being a destination place. He wanted to play here. He put us as a destination. Obviously, he's gone to Boston. Giannis has spoken highly about the Bulls organization in press conferences over in Milwaukee a couple of years ago. DeMar DeRozan has spoken so highly about the Bulls organization. Vucevic has spoken so highly about the Bulls organization. And Zach LaVine has talked so highly about the Bulls organization. You're starting to see a shift in how people really view the Chicago Bulls from an outsider's and insider's perspective. There's not many people during the Garpax era that saying this is a wonderful place to play. Maybe that's me being ignorant, but I don't believe I am being ignorant. I have gotten to know a little bit more about this Bulls team over the last 4 years than I probably ever had known about this Bulls team previously. But at the end of the day, everybody seems to be very high on the Chicago Bulls and actually wanting to play here. And Zach LaVine, as a Bulls, I guess, player, has basically said, hey, I chose to be here. You know, he's saying it's not his decision if he leaves, but it was his decision to be here. So whatever happens in the future, whatever happens to Zach LaVine, if he does get traded, if he does, I guess, leave the Chicago Bulls, if he remains here for the majority, if not all of his contract, and he re-signs on another one, or what if eventually down the line he gets bought out or something? I don't know what the future holds for Zach LaVine. It could literally lead to anything. At least know that a player of Zach LaVine's caliber, someone that is a prolific 3-level scorer that has gotten better for the most part in every single element of his games in the seasons, someone that's fought through injuries, someone that's played through injuries, and someone that has proven to be, in my opinion, a warrior type player throughout his career. He chose to live out his prime with this Chicago Bulls team in the belief that we can win and in the belief that this is the best destination for him. Whatever happens in the future, we may never, ever come close to winning a championship, but I know Bulls fans, I do, and I believe Bulls fans are very respective of the players that come and play here, no matter what the level is. And especially the people that want to be here. I've always said it. I want players that want to be here, and Zach LaVine clearly wants to be here. So in 10 years' time, whether Zach LaVine has given us that promised land of a championship, or whether Zach LaVine didn't really get close to competing for a championship with this Bulls team, comments like that and his actions as well, in my eyes, has shown me that I will always be someone that appreciates what Zach LaVine brought to the table. Again, you've seen it even in tanking seasons, that Bulls fans appreciate Bulls players during those moments and during those times. So it's always going to be nice to see the same thing when it comes to Zach LaVine. I absolutely love this quote. I understand there are some people that will say, well, what is he supposed to say? It's Bulls media day. He might not necessarily mean what he says. To be honest, there are so many quotes out there like this that, in my opinion, it makes me believe everything that he's saying. But what do you guys think? Do you think I'm blowing it out of proportion? You know, again, I'll give you an example, and maybe this is not a fair example to give. But people love Derrick Rose, and he never won a championship here. He's gotten a lot closer than Zach LaVine, but obviously he's a Chicago-born talent. The story behind it, obviously everybody supported him from the very beginning. That makes sense. So it's not exactly the same comparison, but Jimmy Butler, in my opinion, is the same comparison. He rose to the ranks of the Chicago Bulls. He's brought us to NBA playoff experiences, but he never really came close to winning a championship as the main superstar of this team. But people from the Bulls love Jimmy Butler. And I'm not comparing the level of the player. I'm not saying Zach is better than Jimmy or Jimmy's better than Zach. I think deep down in our souls, we know the answer to that. But what I'm saying is that people respected Jimmy Butler even after he departed from the Chicago Bulls. And it was never Jimmy's choice to leave. There were talks about him potentially leaving. He didn't have the right conversations with the front office and stuff of that nature. And that led to him being traded, of course. And obviously the Bulls didn't believe in Jimmy Butler. And maybe the Bulls at some point won't believe in Zach LaVine. But I hope the treatment that Zach LaVine gets will be very similar to the treatment Jimmy Butler gets when he comes back to the Chicago Bulls, or when he's here. He's loved and appreciated, and you'll think of the good times where he's had some fantastic moments in this Bulls organization. The 50-point games, the 41-point games, the prolific scoring ability, the dunk fest, Flight 8. Stacey King said, Stacey King's nicknames for every single one of these players, including Zach LaVine. Remember all these things, even when he's no longer a Chicago Bull. That's my message to you guys. You can let me know if you agree or not. I understand some people are not necessarily that fond of Zach LaVine. Some people do want Zach LaVine to get traded. You know, you can think what you want, but as long as, I guess, whatever you feel, you do understand that he dedicated a lot of his time and his career to this Bulls team. And I think that should very much be appreciated. What do you guys think? Thank you all so much for watching. Drop a like and a follow and or subscribe if you are new. I'll see you in the next Chicago Bulls related video. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.